Hello and welcome to Low Budget Gaming and welcome to another first Descendant video. So in this video, I just wanted to discuss and preview Serena's ability because we got a detailed look in the dev stream yesterday. And I also wanted to share my thoughts and also give you some information if you wanted to prepare in advance. So next week we'll have the update. You can farm her reactors. You can also get some materials for the doggo. And so you can make your life a little easier and the farm and the grind and also understand how she works. Very interesting and different playstyle as far as Serena is concerned. She's designed to sort of stay in the air. She's also having some benefits for the teammates like HP recovery. In the air, she gets better, firearm attack and reducing of the recoil and things like that. So she's designed to be in the air all the time. And as we saw from the demonstration given by the director here, they did a mission and pretty much stayed in the air all the time. So let's have a look at her abilities and see what she's bringing to the table. All right, so we start off first with her passive ability. This is called Divinity. Now, basically, when she's in the air, she gets additional stats when she's firing in the air. So air attack increase, explosive attack increase, accuracy is increased, recoil is reduced. So basically, just by being in the air, she gets certain benefits. Now, the way this works is whenever she's jumping, you'll see the passive icon light up. So this way, the passive is active. So all you have to do is just be in the air or jump. Now moving on to our first ability, this is called Sacred Flame. This uses the fire and singular type, and basically what we have is a sort of damage in front of her. So she inflicts a damage in front of her, and the range is 7 meters by default, I think. Yeah, 7 meters is the default range, which can be increased by 150%. So 10.5 is the maximum range. And so she does damage in front of her. This damage inflicts a status called Repentance. Repentance, they say here, is the same as the burn status from firearms. So that is the status you'll inflict on the enemy. They'll be burning for 10 seconds. And you can once again increase this a little bit. Now, if you have teammates, they get something called Blessing in the same range. So if they have teammates in front of you or something, they'll get Blessing, which is basically HP recovery. So they'll get 6% of max HP per second. So that is actually not bad. So if they stand there for 10 seconds, which is the same duration here, they're getting a lot of their HP back, 60% basically. So pretty good and a good sort of team support idea here as well. I think someone like Eugene could benefit with something like this. Now, next up is her second ability. This is called Ascension. Now, with Ascension, this is also a fire and singular type. And what happens here is when she's in the air, gravity is reduced and she gets certain benefits depending on the type of weapon she's using, or I should say the rounds in the gun that she's using. So there are different benefits for general rounds, for special rounds, for impact rounds, for the high powered rounds. So they went over that. You can see all of it in the tab. So if you see here, with the effect of jumping and being in the air, she gets 85% reduction in gravity and 100% in the charge time of the grapple hook. So basically, grapple hook is pretty much available all the time. Now, with the general rounds, you get critical hit chance increase. Multiple hit chance increase. So you can hit multiple, and multi-hit damage also increases by 50%. With the impact rounds, so your Nazistas, Devotion, and those type of guns, Perforator, your attack drop-off distance increases. So each gun has a range. So let's say 10%, 10 meters or something. That increases by 70%. With critical hit, you'll get MP back of 12% of your max MP, which is pretty good. Of course, hitting people on the head mid-air might be a little harder. Next, we have special rounds. So you get certain benefits here. You get AoE damage, surrounding AoE damage, firearm damage 150%. Damage range is 10 meters. They haven't increased it by much. And we also have high powered rounds, so they get additional benefits, skill power and fire damage chance of 50%. So again, once we use her a little bit, but basically all types of weapons will get some benefits depending on how you are using her. You can swap the weapons mid-air and use a different gun to get a different effect. Now the third ability is called Soar. Now this is different. This is fire and dimension now. And this is purely a movement-based ability. So if she's standing on the ground, she'll just shoot up if you press this third ability. And if she's in the air, she'll move in a certain direction. She'll sort of dash mid-air. And so this is basically the benefit of the third ability, increases the movement, makes it easier. And also when she's dashing, she'll do a little bit of damage around her. So it's only a 3-meter radius here, which can be increased by 200%, so 6 meters. So when she's dashing and the enemies, they'll get some damage. And it's a pretty decent amount of damage by the looks of it. Damage range is also 5 meters, can be increased to 10. So this is her third ability. Now, our fourth ability, this is called Redemption. This is once again Fire and Dimension. Now, when she's on the ground and she activates this, it removes all debuffs and grants something called Prayer of Redemption. Now, this will reduce the damage received and improve the HP recovery and things like that. When in the air, what happens is you get something called Redemption's Judgment. And this thing will give you a 15-second duration. You'll get more AoE damage on your firearm attack. And once again, we have additional damage chance on firearm attack, 100%. So you get do damage with your firearm, 100% AoE damage, and then more damage, more range, and things like that. So overall, again, we'll have to see this in action to see how this does. It doesn't seem as strong at the moment, but could be useful if you're playing solo, I suppose. Now, next up, they showed a couple of Transcendent mods for her. The first one is called Divine Search. And what this does is it changes her fourth ability, the one we just looked at, and basically it causes an explosion when she lands, and when she's dashing in a direction, it puts fire on the ground, as you can see here. So enemies behind her will be burning, and when she lands, she'll sort of land and do a damage. So this actually seems pretty good. I think this might be the preferred mod for the Transcendent mod. The second one is called Him, and with this one, it seems more like a sort of team support type of mod. And so what it says here, when on the ground, it creates a jump zone where the teammates can also jump. I don't know what use that would be. And when in the air, it increases the movement speed of nearby allies. So you can see this is the jump zone that it creates. Again, if you want to stand and play around and jump in it, maybe it's useful. But yeah, at the moment, I don't see what the use case would be. But obviously, there is something behind it. So basically, that's the skills of Serena and her abilities. I think this is pretty good. The dev also later did a run of the new area, and yeah, so you can see she can stay in the air all the time. She can do damage. Of course, in the air she gets more damage range, firearm attack increases. Basically, you don't have to be that accurate. You do a lot more AoE damage. You can see they're using that Transcendent mod, the first one, Divine Search, and doing damage. So you could sort of, if there are a group of enemies, you can sort of fly past them and do damage to the enemies ahead of them, and the ones behind you will be burning and things like that. And so you can see he's using the movement, the third ability, dashing midair, and then doing damage, and you can see the passive is active. So I think, yeah, this seems to be like the main Transcendent mode, the one called Divine Search. And with this method, you can sort of stay in the air. They did seem to use the launcher here, and occasionally get down and use the new hand cannon. But yeah, I think this is interesting. Of course, we'll have to see if she's comfortable to use, like smooth to operate, or is it going to be clunky. Now the director was playing with the controller, so it's hard to say how it would feel on keyboard and mouse, but I think this looks interesting. Now I wanted to just basically talk about what you can do a little bit to prepare for Serena. Now in the gameplay footage we saw from the dev stream, they were using the burning singularity reactor, or the one which uses fire and singular. Now, as you saw, the first two abilities were fire and singular. The first one was the one doing the damage, and that is something with a low cooldown that people will be using. So I'm guessing this will be the preferred one. But we saw with the fourth ability, when they used the Transcendent Mod burning, the Divine Search, that one was also doing a little bit of damage, quite a bit actually. You were leaving a trail of fire behind you when you were flying past enemies, and then when you landed, you were doing a damage. So maybe there might be a case for the fire and dimension reactor to also be used. We'll see once she's out and once we have tried out a few builds and things. So basically, you can try and collect these reactors for the time being. In my opinion, based on how they had showed the different mod pages, cooldown and skill cost reduction seems to be quite important. Range and duration would also play a part, but To me, it seemed cooldown was quite important along with skill cost. So if you can get something with, say, duration increase, something with, again, duration increase over here, again, another duration, cooldown reduction, have firepower boost here. We have things like duration and range over here, cooldown, duration and crit damage. I don't think she'll be a crit based Descendant because they were not using any of her crit mods. So it seems she will be with the low crit rates, sort of like Freyna, for example. Then we have something with duration and cooldown. So this could be something handy. I have cost and cooldown. So again, cost will reduce your skill cost, your MP cost. So this might be handy. But again, we'll have to see which will be the preferred one at the moment based on what they were showing with their builds. They were using this reactor, the burning singularity. The burning phase one could also be used depending on the Transcendent Mod. I don't know if I noticed a change to the skill type when they applied the reactor. Maybe it's one of those cases where when you put a Transcendent Mod, it changes one of the skills to a different type. So these two seem to be the preferred ones. I would lean more towards the burning singularity. So you could collect a few of these right now because they are available in the game right now. So if you go into the difficulty section, if you go into fire and singular, Mirage Stone and Vermilion Waste. So in Mirage Stone, you could do the Valby run on this outpost, or you could do one of these missions and try to collect a few. While we are here, you could also go to Vermilion Waste. Once again, you have an outpost here. Again, you can do the same Valby run, pick up some reactors. Other than that, I think you could use this mission. It's a quick mission, takes you a couple of minutes. You might get some reactors for this one. I used to do this early on when the game first came out. But I think if you have a Valby for taking out outposts, this could be better. For the other type of reactor, you could go with it's in the Kingston area, so this should be fun. The mission we used to run was which one did we run? I think it was this one, Kingston's communication. There's one that you sort of run around here and do this area. I think it's this one perhaps. I inform Albion of Kingston's situation. I think you have to run this mission, and you can pick up a bunch of reactors. Again, very short missions. They take like a minute or something. So you could collect a few of these reactors while you're here. Now, the other thing is external components. Now, there will be 4 new external components coming into the game. However, one of the existing ones, and the one of them that they were using, is the Hunter set. So the Hunter set is available in the Void Vessel on the hard difficulty. And when you have the 4 pieces, the first 2 pieces will reduce your cooldown further by 4%. And the 4-piece set will help you with a lot of MP recovery. So MP recovery in combat, MP recovery out of combat, you'll get these things that will recover your MP. So this would be a good one to farm because you can farm. And you can pick up a lot of other things in the Void Vessel as well. So just pick up a bunch. Don't worry too much about getting the perfect stats. You can see here, I normally don't keep anything with the blue, but I just kept it in case so that I have a full set, and then we'll find out. Obviously, you'll need to get all the MP related stuff, some HP, cooldown, and things like that. Cooldown will be obviously the effect of the set, but max MP, HP recovery, MP recovery, go for those things. Maybe some shield on the processor, max shield recovery. This would be a good one. So yeah, make a full set here and you'll be prepared in advance. Anyway, so that is the preview for Serena and some preparation tips if you wanted before the update next week, or you could just simply take a break. If you're like me at this point, you could just chill for the next week and wait for the update, and then we can look at what we have. But I'm looking forward to how Serena works. At least it's something different. Our playstyle is different. Don't know if she'll be meta or not, but I think Glaive will still hold up and do well in the next update. Anyway, that's it for this one. Thank you for watching. See you next time.